Germany is one of the main economic partners of Kazakhstan. According to the results of last year, trade turnover between the countries amounted to over $5 billion US. Investments are increasing as well. In the past 12 years, Germany has invested nearly $9 billion US into Kazakhstan. More than 90% of the investments are focused on non-commodity sector, including mechanical engineering as well as processing and chemical industries. We can expand our bilateral cooperation in the fields of politics, economy and culture. Kazakhstan is a very important partner for us in Central Asia. This region is becoming popular for Europe every year. This can be seen from a new strategy with Central Asian countries adopted by the European Union 2 months ago. The two countries plan to cooperate in areas of transport, renewable energy and digital transformation. Kazakhstan is a bridge between Europe and Asia. Kazakhstan is very important for Germany and we want to further develop economic cooperation as well as share our experience in dual education. Currently, Kazakhstan and Germany is developing a roadmap which will allow expanding cooperation in tourism, agriculture and alternative energy. In return, this will give a new impetus to the bilateral relations. Kazakhstan remains as one of the main partners for the United States in Central Asia. This was discussed by experts following the successful work that the country has achieved as part of the UN Security Council. Currently, the two countries are focusing on strengthening its economic cooperation, increasing the volume of American investment and developing partnerships in the field of education and culture. The representatives of the US scientific community opined that Kazakhstan can strengthen its status through the implementation of its integration initiatives and by fully utilizing the transport and transit potential of Central Asia.
The country itself is super interesting, but in addition to that, it lives in a very interesting neighborhood, Central Asia, right? So there's a lot of geopolitical concerns, there's a lot of development concerns, there's a lot of concerns around energy. There are lots of things that make Kazakhstan and Central Asia in and of itself very interesting.
The dairy industry in Kazakhstan is significantly expanding. The commercial dairy farms will have the opportunity to increase the volume of the raw material produced in the country and improve the working standards. There will be 7 new farms in Almaty this year. New equipment is being delivered while the cattle and calf barns are being built currently. 240 brown Swiss breed of cattle will be imported from Austria in November. The farm management has big plans. We plan to take 25 liters of milk from each cow. In the future, we plan to produce 25 tons of raw materials. There are 7 dairy farms built in Almaty region in 2018. There are 72 similar farms in the region. The farms produce about 70,000 tons of milk every year. The production is developed based in accordance with the demand of time. All the necessary parameters will be taken under control. We are expecting to see an increase in milk production. According to the forecast of the Kazakh Ministry of Agriculture, the number of family dairy farms and the number of industrial commercial dairy farms will be increased to 527 and 129 respectively by 2027. The Sievers apple trees are revived in Almaty region. Dozens of seedlings were planted in order to preserve the gene pool of these trees. The Sievers apple trees are grown on the slopes of Jungerian Alatau, Tian Shan and Tarbagatai mountain ranges. This type of apple tree appeared 165 million years ago. In 2002, British biologist and geneticist Barry Juniper proved that the Sievers apple is a progenitor of a majority of cultivars. Currently, it is endangered and included into the Red Book. Thereby, the National Nature Park was created. The Festival of Blossoming is organized every year in order to popularize the apple tree. Both locals and tourists arrive to see the apple trees. This year alone, more than 500 tourists visited the Jungerian Alatau.
Себебі біздің Сиверс алмасы
Our Sivas apple is no different than the Japanese sakura. The unique tree is beautiful, pleasing to the eye, and it sets a good mood. The main goal of such events is to draw the attention of people on the need to preserve the apple tree. We also have our own wealth.
Назарын аудару, бізде де осындай байлықтар бар екенін көрсету.
Биыл айтап өтсек, Қазақстанымызда елбасымен қарастырылды.
The government adopted a tourism development program for 2019 and 2020. The Sivers apple trees were included in this program. I think that the number of tourists will increase.
Парламада өзіміздің әлемге әйгілі болып келе жатқан Сиверс алмасы қазір Қазақстанның брендіне айналған.
40 species of the Sivers apple trees can be found in the Jungerian Alatau. The trees grow at an altitude of 1,700 meters above sea level. Seedlings are grown in a special nursery with an area of 25 hectares. The seeds are local, which meant it is not imported, experts said. We grow the Sivers apple tree. We collect the seeds here. We do not use any bio or chemical products. Everything grows naturally. Experts said that the Sivers apple tree does not grow anywhere else. It is grown only in Kazakhstan. Many scientists were involved in its study. These varieties of apples have long gained popularity around the world. Astrophysicists from Almaty have discovered the solution to fix the sources of gamma-ray bursts in space. The solution was found due to the launch of a new telescope in the Turgen Observatory. The telescope is 70 centimeters in diameter, and the speed allows messages from NASA orbital telescopes to be received within 8 seconds. And it is also able to take pictures. The launch is a partnership between Kazakhstan and the USA.
Очень важный момент этого телескопа – это его быстрость.
A very important point of this telescope is its speed. It allows you to monitor the fast-moving physical processes in the space. We want to provide a high-speed internet communication. This is very important in order to install global telescopes that can be controlled from all over the world.
Это очень важно для того, это один из таких критериев для установки мировых телескопов, с которого можно управлять со всего мира.
Up to 200 galaxies can be seen every night with a telescope. The observatory has 3 other telescopes as well. A meter telescope can be used to explore new stars in the X-ray range. A half-meter telescope helps to remove space debris. There is also a giant telescope, which is the largest in Central Asia, weighing 57 tons. In tandem with the new high-speed telescope, the heavy weight reduces galactic distances.
Этот телескоп видит в 16 раз.
This telescope with the same permeability sees 16 times more than before. We might say that it is not only the largest, but also the heaviest telescope in Kazakhstan. At the same time, we will install the telescope in the remote control mode.
Тоже в режим дистанционного управления.
The NASA Astronomical Agency experts noted that on the successful location of the Turgen Observatory, it is the perfect location to study the universe as it is located at an altitude of almost 3,000 meters above sea level. From here, movement of planets, solar and lunar eclipses and other cosmic phenomena can be seen. The first ice cream production is opened in Kyrgyzstan. Popsicles are made based on a special local recipe. Only natural ingredients are used to make the ice cream. There are no flavor enhancers or colorants. The main ingredient of the ice cream is organic milk, purchased from local residents. In addition to popsicles, 24 of other types of ice cream are also being produced, including chocolate, strawberry, as well as creamy and plombier ice creams. Producers revealed that the secret of the taste lies in the infusion of the sweetness in the ice cream, which is not made in a hurry. Sugar, milk, starch and butter are mixed and cooked together. Then this mixture is pressed. Next, it goes to the equipment and cools down. Residents of Osh and Jalalabad regions can taste the local ice cream. Next year, the ice cream producers plan to sell their products in Bishkek as well. A collection of the works of 80 philosophers from member countries of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization will be published in Uzbekistan. This is an initiative of representatives of the Center for National Diplomats in Tashkent. The book will introduce readers to the creativity and thoughts of different nations. The center also aims to expand cultural and humanitarian cooperation between the SCO countries and establishing interaction between institutes of civil society.
Планируем сперва на узбекском языке опубликовать, потом с помощью наших партнеров.
First, we plan to publish in Uzbek and then in Russian and Chinese languages. I think that this will contribute to the strengthening of trust and rapprochement of our nations.
О доверии, о сближении наших народов.
Staff of the Center for Diplomats said that the event is organized as part of the Year of Kazakhstan in Uzbekistan. Therefore, the organization will contribute to the formation of mutual learning of rich historical and cultural heritage, as well as centuries-old traditions. Many Europeans are getting acquainted with Kazakh culture. The concerts of the country's popular composers, book presentations and fairs are regularly organized within the framework of the modernization of Kazakhstan's identity program in Europe. Last year, the unique heritage of the Great Steppe, the Golden Man, was presented in Ten's museum. There were also concerts performed by Ayman Musakhodjaeva and Jania Albakirova, which saw a complete full venue. The local literature was also presented abroad. The National Library of Kazakhstan donated 200 books to a library in Berlin in 2018. The books are the works of the great Abay Kunanbayev, Saken Seyfullin, Abish Kekilbayev, and other poets and writers from Kazakhstan.
Unsere Bibliothek ist immer schon ein Vermittler gewesen.
Our library always works in order to introduce and raise the publicity of the works of foreign authors to German readers. German readers are interested in other cultures and foreign literature. It is great that some of the books are presented in German translation.
To, co przede wszystkim też uderza, to misterność wykonania.
The Golden Man is unique. All of the elements and decorations are skillfully made, down to the last details. This is a priceless finding. Even at present time, it is very hard to make such masterpiece. I was amazed by the collection of the jewelry. It shows the role and importance of the Scythians, Sarmatians and Sakas who lived in steppe.
Taką pieczołowitością, z takim mistrzostwem.
A number of events are organized in the country as part of the modernization of Kazakhstan's identity program. One of the events includes an exhibition of ancient Kazakh utensils. Atarau Museum of Local History presented wood and leather utensils, as well as dishes, spoons, saba, kesip cup, and flasks for kilnis and torsik. Bas tabak, a large plate that is used to serve lamb's head to the most honored guests in the house, was also displayed. Organizers of the exhibition said that the ancient exhibits are not only decorative arts, but also shows the history of Kazakh traditions.
Теріден жасалған қазақ халқының бұл да ұлттық қолөнер бұйымдарына жататын теріден жасалған. Бұл экспозиция халқымыздың ұлттық салт.
By showcasing these exhibits, we want the visitors to learn about how certain household items were created in the past. This exhibition was also organized to popularize the national traditions and works of the craftspeople.
Музей көрермендеріне ұсынылып отыр.
Ukrainian artist Natalia Mukherchyan showcases Kazakh customs and traditions in her works. At the Kazakhstan and Ukraine Are Together exhibition, the painter presented a number of her works, displaying episodes from life of the Great Steppe. She has recently finished painting a portrait of the national hero, Kasim Kaisenov, who was a famous Kazakh writer, a veteran of the Second World War, and a partisan who fought in Ukraine. The artwork has drawn special attention from exposition visitors.
Людей, которые пережили войну, у них какой-то отпечаток на.
People who went through the war have an imprint on the face and heaviness of the experienced war. It was hard to paint his face. It was harder to work on this portrait rather than other works.
Ну, он мне дался более тяжелее, чем другие портреты.
The painter has chosen her best works for her solo exhibition, such as The Beautiful Girl with Dombra, Kazakh Warriors Kizku and Yirtargin. In addition, Natalia Mukherchyan painted a number of works showcasing the beauty and grandeur of the capital of Kazakhstan.
Мы видели в картинах историю.
We have seen the history of Kazakhstan in paintings. We have seen the past, the present, and architecture of Kazakhstan. This is the versatility and the epoch expressed by the author in her paintings.
В картинах всего автора Натальи Мукherchyan.
Natalia said that the nations have a common history and the exhibition organized will bring the countries closer together. In the future, the painter plans to find an inspiration in Kazakhstan for her upcoming works. Smagul Montayev, resident of Volgograd region, intends to popularize Kazakh traditions, language and culture. The Russian Kazakh is ensuring that the local descendants will remember the history of their ancestors. He opened an ethnocultural museum, Altyn Nur, in the backyard of his house. The men collected household items, national clothes and musical instruments to be displayed as exhibits. Many of them were made by hand.
19 жыл мектепте істеп мұғалім болып, сонда мен түсіндім, что балалар дәстүр тарихасын.
Many children know neither their culture nor traditions. I opened a museum because of it. Many people visit this museum. I went to Almaty and Uralsk and gave lectures.
Сонда кітап тауып өзім оқыдым. Көп кісі келеді, жолтымға турист болып.
The Altyn Nur Ethno-Cultural Center is included in the list of tourist attractions. Tourists who visited Salt Lake in Altyn made a stop at the center. Smagul is not only showcasing the traditions of Kazakhs, but he also follows all the customs. One of the main features of the tour is the rich dastarkhan that are served to the guests. Barsak, beshbarmak and other Kazakh national dishes are served. There is a heart of ethnographical culture in a region far from the capital. It is very interesting and made with great love and hospitality. There are many moments that you can't find by reading the books. 9-year-old Maxim learned about the Kazakh national game Asik Atu at the center. This game is very cool, but it has its own significant meaning. At first, I thought that the game is similar to card game, but it turned out to be something different. But it is still interesting. The rules are similar to chess, whereby you need to think who to take over by whom. This is the first time that we are in a yurt. We do not know anything about the lifestyle of the Kazakh people. It is very interesting for us to learn. Firstly, it is informative, and secondly, it is a completely different world compared to us. It is interesting to get to know and find out how people lived before, and also to learn about the preserved ancient traditions. A traditional Russian hut, izba, is located next to the yurts. It is used as a Russian historical museum. Smagul Montayev is trying to strengthen the spiritual relation between the two nations. Kazakh wrestling techniques were studied in the land of morning freshness. In the city of Chungju, athletes from Kazakhstan, Korea, Brazil, Turkey and Mongolia arrived at the youth camp. They learned not only the basics of martial art, but also learned how to greet, say goodbye and give thanks in different languages. The youth camp is organized by the UNESCO International Martial Arts Center. Over the course of 1 week, they studied not only the national wrestling of the Kazakh Kures, but also the Mongols Bok, the Korean Sirum, Turkish Güreş, and the Brazilian Capoeira.
이번 캠프를 통해서
The participants of the international camp have learned various martial arts. The fighter of the Korean wrestling, Sirum, learns about the Mongol Bok and Kazakh Kures. All the participants learned martial arts, culture, and also several phrases in different languages. They are already getting along with each other. I'm sure that such events contribute to the international promotion of these martial arts.
학생들이 자기 안에 갇혀 있는 것이
During the training, wrestlers from Brazil noted that capoeira and kures have a lot of similar techniques.
Sobre o Cazaquistão eu já tinha ouvido falar, mas não sabia que o povo de vocês era.
We met with the representatives of Kazakhstan for the first time. We were surprised that they were so simple, educated, and happy. We found that the Kazakh wrestling and capoeira have many similar techniques. We want to develop the relations between the federations of the two countries.
Kazakh күресінің ережесі әлемде көп күрес түрлері келеді.
The rules of the Kazakh kures are similar to other foreign types of wrestling, such as judo, sambo, or freestyle wrestling. The techniques are very similar. Recently, the Asian Championship was held in Mongolia. Kazakh wrestlers won 3 of the 8 weight categories.
Салмақтың үшеуінде ғана және қазақ балуандар жеңіске жетті.
The Kazakhs agreed to exchange experiences with other federations in the Korean city of Chungju. The local wrestlers assured that the international cooperation will help make Kazakh kures as a more popular sport worldwide. The game could also be included in the Olympic Games program.